Well, hey YouTube, welcome to Monday's edition of the Breakfast Club. I'm Got That Funk. Thanks for joining me. I've just come back from a 6-hour drive. We've drove 300 miles across the south of the UK to get back here to London. I was down in Cornwall visiting one of my dearest friends who's having her 29th birthday. And it was a great party. We had great times, but I am absolutely shattered, and this is therefore going to be a pretty brief video. Saturday of last weekend and then subsequently Wednesday on the Breakfast Club, both Josh and Nathan, respectively, were talking about their issues with the so-called post-fact era. Yesterday on his own channel, not on the Breakfast Club, our Friday host Kazoom Fowler talked about some of his misgivings over this post-fact era and how depressing he finds it to be. I think it was in the comment section of Nathan's video on Wednesday that I said that people believe what they want to believe, regardless of any evidence or testimony to the contrary. This is something I've been saying my whole life, and even though it may not be 100% true 100% of the time, I personally think that it's way more often true than false. So much so that you could more or less say it is true that people believe what they want to believe, regardless of any evidence to the contrary. Now, I've talked to people who were once upon a time theists, but who, learned a lot about science or whatever, and then they decided they couldn't really maintain their belief in God anymore. Even though they wanted to continue believing in God, they couldn't because they were faced with too much evidence which said their beliefs were not based on anything substantial. And to those people, I always say that you clearly wanted to believe facts. You wanted your beliefs to align with your perception of reality more than you wanted your beliefs to make you feel good. So yeah, you still wanted to believe in God on an emotional level, maybe, but on an intellectual level you couldn't. And I think that's an important distinction to make, because it's my opinion, and please feel free to correct me in the comment section if you have a different one. But, the main difference between belief and knowledge is emotion. Knowledge is not based on emotion. Knowledge is based on facts and that which we can compare with other people's perceptions, using their experiences and their senses. And when their conclusions align with our conclusions, we tend to call those things facts. And a belief is based on feelings. You believe something because you want to. You believe something because it makes you feel a certain way. It validates or reinforces part of your psychology. And sometimes that includes believing things that are really unpleasant. Like if you have a spouse who's cheating on you and one of your best friends tells you so, you might not want to believe it. And regardless of how convincing your friend is, regardless of how trusting your friend is, trusted your friend is to you, you might not be able to believe them simply because you don't want to. On the other hand, your insecurities might be so strong that you believe your spouse is cheating on you when they are not cheating on you, and that's because you want to validate your insecurities. So we tend to believe what we want to believe. As regards theism, for example, if a person is prepared to accept as true that there is a being for which there is literally no evidence that created everything, if someone can wrap their mind around that and believe it as if it was a fact, then they are capable of believing anything. And that is basically the conclusion I am leaving with this video. People can believe anything. It all comes down to their psychological imperatives and their emotional awareness. And people tend to believe what they want to believe. It's almost impossible to believe something you don't want to believe. On that note, I will open it up to comments in the comment section down below. Sister Danger ought to be here for tomorrow's video on the Breakfast Club. We'll see about that. And until next time, I want to thank you for watching. May all your ups and downs be ups.